Imagine this, a TURO guest crashes your car, now you're stuck figuring out insurance, repairs, and possible loss of income. Scary, right? It hasn't happened to me yet, but here's exactly what I found so you don't get blindsided if it ever does. I feel like it was only right that I brought you guys a video explaining how you could possibly go about if damages did happen to your vehicle. I know we have loads of videos explaining how to get started on the platform, blah, 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 but we all know that there's a whole lot of risk that goes into this business. With that being said, if something like this did come about, which is a high chance it could happen during your time on the platform, possibly could be your first rental or your 10th rental. Even though my car's never been actually totaled and in a serious accident, I have had multiple experiences of damages, scratches, and, just slight things that obviously cause for repair, but not cause for a total loss or end of business. Let's talk about the high damages. Let's talk about things that are like excessive instead of, the little things and things that are easily able to get brushed off. So first things is the process. How do you actually go about this if it did happen? So there's usually a process that goes into play. TURO does have it set up for you if damages do occur to the vehicle. Now there's a whole lot of steps that actually go into place with this. Of course, your insurance plan first and foremost. Honestly, the coverage really depends on your insurance plan. So when getting started on the platform, or if already on the platform, it's very important that you understand what this insurance plan covers so that you're not left in the loophole and wondering what the hell happened or why am I not getting coverage for this certain thing. So now, in the sense that I am on a 75% plan, this comes with a $250 deductible. But what does it entail? So this entails $750,000 of third liability insurance and reimbursement for replacement vehicles at $30 per day for up to 10 days. Or $300 in total if the vehicle is like a total loss. They just give you $300 in total for reimbursement replacement vehicle. Pretty much just giving that 10 days to figure out the next steps. Now, another thing that a lot of other insurance plans cover, like the 60%, is hosting income, which means that you still get paid even though like your car's gone. They still find a way to get you paid, which is okay, but that's if you're on the 60% insurance plan, which means you only take home 60% of your earnings. To me, I didn't think that was beneficial because how many times is your car really gonna be a total loss to where it's a huge problem? Or how many times is it really gonna be in the shop? It doesn't really work like that. Rentals don't work like that. Like, people aren't purposely getting the car to damage the car. So in that sense, how often will a high damage actually happen to the car to where it's in the shop for a good amount of days? You know what I'm saying? So I understand the insurance benefits, but compared to the rental income, to me, it doesn't really match up. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't really advise anybody to go for the 60% plan. I think you should try to maximize your earnings. It's your vehicle at the end of the day. However, on this plan, it does not cover exterior wear and tear. So certain things are called general exterior wear and tear, which is anything that's 3 inches or less. So if there's like a scratch, a ding, whatever it is, as long as it's 3 inches or less, you're not gonna get covered for it, which goes into play. You know what I'm saying? It goes into high play. I've had times where my Tesla computer screen actually had like a little dash on it, like a little dent, but it was less than 3 inches. I wasn't gonna get covered. I had curb rash on a Tesla. It was less than 3 inches. I wasn't gonna get covered. But in the same sense, we all know that when you put the vehicle on TURO, that there's a high liability that strangers will never treat the vehicle like it's theirs. So you know that you're gonna easily get something of 3 inches or less. But in that aspect, I feel like you pay to play. That's just the game, you know what I'm saying? You just have to take it for what it is. So that's another reason why I feel like 75% plan is still okay. On the 60% plan, it's the opposite. They will cover you for that. But anything 3 inches or more, best believe you will get covered. How much? Kind of depends on TURO or the guest who you will be filing with. So now, in order to do this, TURO has made it pretty easy on the platform when they literally have a section for damage. When damage happens, either before the trip ends or after the trip. You can still always document the damage, but it's very, very important that as a host, you take pre-trip and post-trip, because everything I've said, it does go into count, but only if you have proof. TURO does not operate without any proof. So in that sense, when you have pre-trip photos and post-trip photos, it shows this wasn't there prior to giving the guest this, and this is how they brought it back. When it comes to TURO, there are 2 ways to get coverage for your damage. through directly with the guest who possibly got insurance on the vehicle, and whatever their insurance plan that they got on the vehicle is, they can decide to pay out, so you can deal with them directly. Or it doesn't even have to go that far. If they know they did something, you could just send them an invoice and ask for however much it'll cost, and they should just be able to Zelle you, Cash App you, whatever it is. It should not be that difficult. But if they're unresponsive, don't care, don't give a f, then that's when you can alert TURO and let TURO take it from there. And that they'll just take their deductible, and they just have you send in the invoice. They review it with their estimator, compare it, see if the invoice is, if it matches it with their estimate, or if it's lower. A lot of times, to give you the real sauce, it is usually lower, just because you would probably get your invoice from your company's mechanical shop. Let's say a Mercedes-Benz. You're gonna go to Mercedes-Benz and get an invoice. TURO will look at it from like more of a local shop's perspective and just give you what they feel is okay, what they feel you could work with, as opposed to what a new part would cost or what a luxury shop would charge. Even though it's never happened to me, I've seen other hosts speak about, you know, accidents that did happen, the client ghosting them, not showing up, being unresponsive and acting like it doesn't care. So this is real, it really could happen. I'm gonna show you guys a brief estimate of, or invoice of how it goes. For example, this is my Tesla right here, which this was for a wheel replacement. So this was very, very deep curb rash, obviously over 3 inches, to something where I literally had to file a claim to possibly get a new wheel. And I just sent it over to Tesla. Tesla sent me their invoice, and I'll just put that right on the screen. Now in this case, all I'd have to do is just send it over to TURO and just have them take care of it from there. Send in the invoice, they respond to you within a day or two, sometimes within that same day, and they just let you know the payout and what's gonna happen. Now, if you feel like the payout is lower than how much it will cost, because a lot of times they kind of neglect the invoice and just kind of go with their own estimate. There is a slot in the option to kind of fight for it. Be like, no, I'm not taking this. Like, I want my full estimate. And there's an option there that gives you a choice to get additional earnings if you feel like what they estimated isn't accurate. Or, like I said, the other option is to deal with the guest directly. Here's another screenshot of guest who was responsive, sent over the lengthy scratch, and we just took care of it directly through Zelle. Honestly, to be very honest, I'm probably not going to fix it. To be real, I'm just gonna leave it, because after you fix it, trust me, somebody else is gonna probably mess it up at the end of the day. It's a business car. I'm not emotionally attached to it. It's for renting, it's to make money. What I would do is, in that situation, just gonna get like some paint, and just buff it a little bit, you know? And just kind of clean it up in a way. I did have wheel covers on there, so I'm just gonna replace the wheel covers for like $100. Of course, we spoke about all of that, but how do you protect yourself? Any of my new hosts looking to start, how do you protect yourself? Honestly, first and foremost, make sure that you get one of the best insurance plans that you feel like work best for you. Of course, I'm on the 75%, but it's whatever you feel comfortable with. There's 4 different kinds, whatever you feel like is best. Honestly, it really depends on the kind of vehicle too. So pay attention to what kind of vehicle that you have. What does it cost to fix this kind of vehicle? Or what do your parts cost if there was any damage and you needed a part replacement? Secondly, focus, focus, focus. Like I said before, you will not get covered, or it'll be hard to get covered from TURO directly if you don't have any proof. So make sure that every time before you give out your vehicle, you take as many photos as possible, please. And when it comes back, do the exact same thing. Another thing I'll say is GPS trackers as well. It doesn't hurt to track your vehicle. It's your vehicle. You should feel comfortable renting out. It's already a risk. You're already giving it to strangers at the end of the day. The least you can do is give yourself some form of comfortability. So track the vehicle. If you have a Tesla, then it's easy, right? You can just look on your app and see where the guest is at all times. Last but not least, what I'll say in order to protect yourself is set boundaries. Set these things to your preference. Good thing TURO does offer that. So if you're not really comfortable with guests traveling with your vehicle, going out of state, doing the most, then set your miles to like 200 miles per day, like the bare minimum. Make that the most they can go is 200 miles per day. A guest that's traveling far, they're not gonna get that, because obviously they're gonna get additional distance coverage, and they're gonna end up paying more out of pocket. You can put in your description, no smoking, no drinking, no off-road, no traveling, whatever it is, you can let them know in your bio. And trust me, people pay attention to this, especially a lot of first timers. If they're a first time on Turo, they're gonna wanna do their due diligence and they're gonna look at everything thoroughly. So now I know a lot of you are probably asking, so why did you make this video? I made this video honestly because I know most new hosts only think about profits, but this is a business and you gotta think about risk too. Always remember that. So before you put your vehicle on a platform, I wanted to share all steps, all possibilities, all things that can happen while you are running this business. There is no business without risk, so this is not a way of discouraging you. I know this happens, but I'm still renting out and I shall continue to rent out, but that's just what comes with the business. As an entrepreneur, it comes with full-time risk. Risk can happen at any time of the day. So I wanted this to just be aware, and I wanted you guys to just know other possibilities that do come with the business. I'm not here to take much of your time on today's video. I just wanted to let you guys know that because it weighed heavy on my heart. And as you guys all know, I'm all about helping out, giving value, and giving back game, as well as sharing my experiences and my journey to be able to help somebody out there. Like I always say, if I only help one person today, I'm fully satisfied because I know that person is gonna do well, he's gonna run with it and turn up his game. So that's my goal and that's my mission on this YouTube channel. If you made it this far to the video, I truly appreciate it. I cannot express enough my immense gratitude for every viewer that's watching right now. Every like, every subscription goes a long way. We're on the road to building this channel to 100,000 subscribers, and I truly know it's possible, but I need the full assistance of each and every single one of you watching right now. So if you haven't already, kindly please hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, I go by the name Certified Badmus, where we turn money-making assets to real cash flow. I love giving back game. I'm here to help every single person here. We're a family at the end of the day. Truly appreciate you once again, and I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, ski!